It's the consumer dictates now. It used to be that the retailer did the dictating. Now the consumer dictates. And any kind of consumer that you're working with has to be able to blend technology into any kind of product that they're driving, or making the consumer experience that much better and that much faster and that much safer and that much more enjoyable. And there's really two major areas or demographic hotspots right now in retail. That's the baby boomers and the millennials. And you couldn't market to two vastly different demographics than baby boomers and millennials. You know, the problem with baby boomers is we want to hold, touch, see whatever we want to purchase. And there's about 47 million households that are led by people that are 55 years old or older. So they've got a lot of purchasing power. And with that, they have a significant amount of capital. But they're going to use that on more expensive type activities and consumer activities that they get a pleasurable experience from. It's not about the quick hit. Also, for a lot of baby boomers, shopping is still a social experience. You know, they go shopping with friends, or they meet friends out at the mall, or they meet them at a restaurant, or things of that nature. The millennials, it's completely opposite of that. It's online.
Yeah.
So where the change is going to come in with technologies, how do you blend those two together? And that's where retail is going to be making their biggest shift going forward. Retail, believe it or not, is probably the largest holder of data out of any industry. They know more about us than we'll ever know about them. And I'll give you an example of just Dubuque. Do you know why Dunkin' Donuts is located where they're at in Dubuque? And this is one of the things I learned. There's a PM side of a street and there's an AM side of a street. They're on the AM side of the street because all the traffic flow is people coming downtown to work, so they go buy Dunkin' Donuts. And so it's not just traffic counts anymore, it's what are the traffic counts at specific times, at specific corners, during specific locations. So it's amazing to me, these things that you're looking at. So one of the things is, how do you do multi-channel retail? And that is, how do you get those who want to be in a big box and go touch and feel the product, and how do you get those that want to do it online? And the good retailers are going to combine those two. So it's all about the customer experience. So for example, there's, I don't know if you're familiar with showrooming, but basically showrooming is somebody that goes into a store, goes and finds out what size they need, what product they like, what color they like, and then they go home and they order it online because they can get it cheaper. Well, now savvy retailers are going to say, wait a minute, oh, I'll go online with you, I'll price match it. Now you've captivated that audience and you're using technology to do that. So you're kind of hitting both buttons with that. Also with technology, if you go into a store again, and this would be more the baby boomer, that they go into a store and, oh, you're out of my size. With technology today, it won't be, oh, the next shipment's going to be coming in 2 weeks, and we should have your size. It will be, the next shipment will be here at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, and these are the sizes of product that are on that shipment. We'll have your product for you then. So it's using technology again for serving that. Then if you look at the e-commerce industry, eBay, they're going bricks and mortar as well. Amazon, bricks and mortar. Etsy, bricks and mortar, because they have to create that experience that everybody's engaged in. So it's those multi-channel marketing and multi-channel use of technology that's going to draw these consumers here. So if you look at what they're doing, is it's, again, you talked about analytics earlier. It's all about data and all about analytics. They, again, know more about us than we'll ever know about them. Every time you give them a credit card, or when they ask, what is your zip code, they're collecting all of this data that they now have. So what's their biggest issue with data right now? We talked about safety and security before, is breaches of data. And that's the biggest issue I think retailers are going to be looking at in the next couple coming years when it comes to technology, is how can they take all this data and you feel comfortable providing that data so that we don't have some of the breaches that we've had in the past. And then also it's going to be, you're going to look at product mixes, and this could be online or at a bricks and mortar store, and that product mix is going to be very, very localized. Instead of a department store being a department store and everyone you go into looks exactly the same, the products in there, the way it's laid out, where it's located, is all going to be customized to that local area. You know, jeans may sell much better in Dubuque than they sell in Washington, D.C.
Dick's Sporting Goods stocking different stuff in Phoenix.
Exactly, exactly. And then if you need it and you can't get it in Dubuque, you can go online to Dick's and you can get it through online. So you're trying to interweave technology with some of the basic things that are taking place. And you know, if you look at retail from a data standpoint, and again, they know more about us than we'll ever know about them. And I'll use a perfect example. People in Dubuque look around and say, why do we not have a Von Maur? Von Maur would be a huge hit in this market. I went and met with Von Maur, and that conversation took maybe 6 minutes. Because this is how they look at it now. Do you have 220,000 people within a 5-mile radius of where you want to locate us? If you don't, the conversation's over. That's just the starter right there. They would no more go into some of the retail outlets that they're in today if they weren't long legacy stores, because they're going to bigger markets now. And then they can captivate our size market through online services. So it's interweaving the technology that's really going to be the interesting thing to watch, and it's all about the customer. It's all about customer service. You know, how does a store like Graham's compete with some of these other major retailers? Ben Graham's service. Exactly. It's all about his customer service. It's all about how he approaches his customer and works with his customer, and there's value in that. So there's room in the marketplace for both types of retail, big box or e-commerce. And what you're going to see is more and more blending the two together, because you want to have multi-channel marketing and multi-channel technology to serve the two biggest players in the game right now, which are the millenniums and the baby boomers. So it'll be very interesting to watch this. And I've learned a lot about retail and why Dubuque has some things and why we don't have other things right now. We can get into a little bit more about that later if you'd like. That's just really a 30,000 level observation of what's happening with retail and technology and how it's impacting retail.